As we know, COVID-19 emerged in December 2019, and in March 2020 was declared as pandemic by World Health Organization. This virus have infected more than 343 million people and caused more than 5 million death cases around the world. To stop the spreading of this virus, several vaccines have developed by the researchers such as SPUTNIK 5. SPUTNIK 5 is the world's first registered vaccine based on well-studied human adenovirus vector platform. This vaccine was developed by the Russian State Institute Gamaleya National Research Center of Epidemiology and Microbiology. The basic properties of this vaccine is to extend the shelf life until 6 months while stored in minus 18 degrees Celsius. It is an adenoviral vector-based vaccine type, and the cost is less than $10. And my partner will explain more about the mechanism of action, methods used to develop the manufacture, and the evaluation of the vaccine efficacy and safety.
Next is the mechanism of the vaccine. Sputnik V vaccine is a viral vector-based vaccine which contains recombinant human adenovirus RAD26 and RAD5 with both carrying the gene sequence of the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein. Upon injecting the vaccine into the human body, the body cells will engulf the adenovirus. The vector will then inject the gene sequence of the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein inside the cell's nucleus. The gene will undergo translation process to produce the spike protein, and the spike protein produced will migrate and display on the cell surface to trigger the immune system and activate the immune cells. Antigen-presenting cells APC will then digest the displayed spike protein and bound it together with major histocompatibility complex class 1 protein and present it to CD8 cells. The cell will then trigger the cell-mediated immunity and produce the antibody to fight against the virus.
To meet society's need for safe and efficacious vaccines, the clinical vaccine development process has been refined for more than a century. The clinical evaluation of a vaccine typically comprises 3 phases, which are antigen identification and manufacturing, non-clinical tests that conduct on animal, and lastly, clinical phase. The clinical phase consists of 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Human tests of a vaccine candidate's acceptable safety are completed in phase 1 clinical trials. Next, the proof of concept of the vaccination product should be ensured during phase 2. Then, phase 3 is designed to give a pivotal conclusion required for marketing authorization, and the effectiveness and safety of immunologically active component formulation must be evaluated in a large-scale target population. Finally, Sputnik V vaccine is developed based on adenovirus vector that possess the features which make them a favorable platform for vaccine design.
The vaccine Sputnik V has 100% efficiency for patients that has been infected with the virus that has a serious condition and near-death condition. For normal type of vaccination program, the vaccine is reported to have 91% efficiency for all age group from age 18 and above, no matter their gender. The symptom that accompany the vaccine is quite same with other type of COVID-19 vaccines such as headache, local pain, asthenia, and joint pain. The vaccine has 0 case on directly induced deaths. There is 3 safety issues concerning the vaccine. First, statistical error in the formation of the post-vaccine immunology response. This makes the credibility of the vaccine be doubted. However, no statement from either WHO or FDA has been made. The second issue is it has a lower efficiency in combating the variant of the virus, such as Omicron, that has been appeared recently. However, the issue is normal as the same issue is applicable to other type of COVID-19 vaccine. The third issue is it has a potential to increase the acquisition of HIV among men because the use of adenovirus 5 as a vector for the vaccine.
So, we have learned about the efficiency of Sputnik V vaccine. Now, with me is Professor Akid as a representative Genome Malaysia Institute. Hello, Professor. Hello. So Professor, recently a lot of countries, especially Malaysia, had enforced the vaccination program by set up a rule such as only fully vaccinated people can travel and the government employees must be fully vaccinated to work in order to eradicate COVID-19. What do you think, Professor? Thank you, Newsman. Yes, I really agree with the government action in order to eradicate the COVID-19 right now. The only way is by achieving the herd immunity, meaning when a big section of a society, the herds, develop immunity to a disease, the sickness is unlikely to transmit from person to person. As a result, not the individual who are immune are protected, but the entire community as well. But reaching herd immunity through vaccination against COVID-19 might be difficult for many reasons such as anti-vaxxer and vaccine hesitancy, and it is really hard to a period of time to convince them. Hence, it's essential to enforce the rules to convince this small community to get vaccinated. To reach a certain percentage of community must be immune to acquire herd immunity. Hence, the COVID-19 can be eradicated just like the previous respiratory tract infection epidemic in Malaysia, such as H1N1. Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Homologous mRNA vaccines produce humoral immunity, and homologous vector vaccines produce cellular immunity. Heterologous vaccination with an adenovirus-based vaccine followed by an mRNA vaccine, however, produces more robust humoral and cellular immunity than both homologous vaccinations. Thus, it can be concluded that mixing and matching of different vaccine dosage types can boost immunity significantly more than normal homologous dosage vaccinations. Okay, now booster doses are strongly advised for people who are most at risk for severe diseases like people living in long-term care facilities and people who are over 50 years old. It is also recommended for people who are immunocompromised and people who have a lower immune response. Okay, now this is the guide for booster dosage for some vaccines. It is known that vaccine-induced immunity will decrease over time, so it is recommended that everyone above the age of 12 to take booster doses to maintain their immunity against COVID-19.